Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 President's Circle of Honor event. My name is Brian Stogner, and I'm the president of Rochester University, and I'm so glad that you've decided to take some time to join us today for this very special, very important event in the life of Rochester University. This is a long-standing event that for the last couple of years we've done virtually rather than in person in deference to all the issues related to the pandemic. And I'll talk to you a little bit more in a few minutes about some of the other things that we've done on the Rochester University campus as we have adapted to living with COVID-19 and all the demands that that's made upon us. But what's most important about today and what's most important about this event is that regardless of what the circumstances have been around us, Rochester University has been able to count on the amazing support of some incredibly important people like you. And what we do with this President's Circle of Honor event is honor the important individuals who have given of themselves, of their time, of their money, and of their resources to make the mission of Rochester University possible. So today we want to honor and recognize and thank you for your support, and we particularly want to provide message to you about the importance of people like the Rochester University Board of Trustees, the Rochester University Foundation Board, the Rochester University Alumni Board, our President's Circle of Honor Society, our Scholarship Society sponsors, and our Heritage Society, those folks who have decided to include Rochester University in their estate plan. The contributions and the efforts of all of those folks, all of you who have become a part of that, really make everything that we do at Rochester University possible. And what we're doing at Rochester University is really exciting. It's probably been the busiest summer that I ever remember at Rochester University as we've made all kinds of improvements around our campus. We have created new classrooms in our Richardson Academic Center. We've redone classroom technology in every classroom across the campus in order to make what the experience of that classroom environment is state of the art, whether the student is coming in virtually or in person. We have also done a lot of other things with our computer lab and some other revisions with technology and space around our campus to make room for some exciting new programs. Some of those exciting new academic programs include a new program in computer science, a new program in healthcare management. We're about to launch a new program in esports and making some big changes and revisions for the better in the entire student experience across the Rochester University campus. We hope that in the days ahead, you're able to come visit our campus and see some of the amazing things that are happening around. And if you haven't been here for a while, you'll see that the campus is continuing to develop, continuing to grow, continuing to change shape in some exciting ways as we're able to every day do the important work of educating students, not only for higher education and preparation for a career, but more importantly, preparation for a vocation and calling, and how their calling fits into the life and the work of God, the work of God's people, and the work of God's world. You know, recently, U.S. News and World Report named Rochester University among its top 50 within our sector for social economic mobility. What this means is that many of our students come to us as first-generation college students. Many of them come to us from homes and from families that don't have strong economic advantages. And through the educational experience they get here at Rochester University, they are able to rise higher in terms of social mobility. They're able to improve their socioeconomic status, and they're able to make a better life for themselves because of what happens here. It's an amazing recognition that we've had, and we're going to be talking to some folks in Lansing, telling them a little bit more about the importance of our work here in the days ahead as we continue to advocate for state funding, particularly for our Michigan residential students who don't have the kinds of economic advantages that they need. But the work that you do in providing support for Rochester University is really what makes it possible for those students to continue to go on that trajectory to make a better life for themselves than previous generations had. Without your support, all the improvements that we've made across the campus, all the things that are happening in terms of the development of new programs, and all the things that happen in the individual lives of our students would not be possible. And we're excited today to give you an opportunity to meet some of our students. We're excited today to let you listen to some of the things that they have to say about their experiences, about their plans. Every day, those of us who work here get inspired by what our students do. We think you'll get a little bit of a sense of that inspiration as you listen to these students as well. You'll also hear some talented Rochester University students share some of their musical gifts with you. And right now, we want to let you hear from the Rochester University Worship Band.
Hi, so we are the Rochester University Worship Band. This is Grace Brackney, I'm Faith Barroway, Jenna Bollinger, and then Caleb Carroll, and we are excited to be worshiping with you today.
1, 2, 3, 4. You fight my battles, and I'll praise. You fight my battles, my hands raised. You go before me, I'm not afraid, no, no. You fight my battles, and I'll praise. Yeah. You fight my battles, and I'll praise. You fight my battles, my hands raised. You go before me, I'm not afraid, no, no. You fight my battles, and I'll praise. As I lift my hands, you fight the battle. When I shout your name, you come for me. In the midnight hour, I sing anyway. You will move the mountains right in front of me. You will rise in darkness waves. The victory is yours. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Say, you fight my battles, and I'll praise. You fight my battles, my hands raised. You go before me, I'm not afraid, no. You fight my battles, and I'll praise. As I lift my hands, you fight the battle. When I shout your name, you come for me. In the midnight hour, I sing anyway. Oh, you will move the mountains right in front of me. Sing as I lift my hands, you fight the battle. When I shout your name, you come for me. In the midnight hour, I sing anyway. You will move the mountains right in front of me. You will rise in darkness waves. The victory is yours. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I see weapons forming, I look and see you laughing. When I see darkness coming, I look and see you shining. When I hear evil whisper, I hear your voice like thunder. And I know for sure. Everybody sing it, I'll say. When I see weapons forming, I look and see you laughing. When I see darkness coming, I look and see you shining. When I hear evil whisper, I hear your voice like thunder. And I know for sure. One more time, sing it, I'll say. When I see weapons forming, I look and see you laughing. When I see darkness coming, I look and see you shining. When I hear evil whispered, I hear your voice like thunder. And I know for sure the battle is the Lord's. Yeah, and the victory is yours. Oh, the battle is the Lord's. Yes, it is. And the victory is yours. Yeah, say, as I lift my hands, you fight the battles. When I shout your name, you come for me. In the midnight hour, I sing anyway. Oh, you move the mountains right in front of me. You arise in darkness fades. The victory is yours. The battle is the Lord's. Say the victory is yours. And the battle is the Lord's, battle is the Lord's. Last time, say the victory is yours.
At Rochester University, everything that we do is about students. And as we honor the donors who make it possible for our students to do what they do today, we thought it would be great for you to hear from some of our students, to get to know them a little bit better, and to understand a little bit more about what their experience at Rochester University has been. So it's a privilege for me today to introduce to you Victoria Dupuis. Victoria is a senior microbiology major who's minoring in chemistry and psychology. And in addition to that incredibly rigorous academic work, she has done about everything else a student can do at Rochester University. Varsity softball, as a member of the all-academic team and the Champions of Character Award winner in our varsity softball team. She's been a peer tutor in our supplemental instruction lab, a community leader, a Kibo Corner barista. It currently is serving as our student body president. So Victoria has made a huge impact and made a big difference here at Rochester University. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Looking forward to talking with you. You have fully immersed yourself in the Rochester University experience since you've been here. Tell us a little bit about what brought you here to begin with. Why did you choose RU and how did that choice happen?
So I was originally being recruited by Coach Ty for softball, and I had been offered by multiple other schools like Wayne State and some other institutions in like the Metro Detroit area. But when I came for my visit here, I really just liked the community that I felt here, and I just like felt, even when I went on my visits and I visited classrooms, like the professors wanted to know about me and they were asking me questions and they were really like involved with me, and I wasn't even part of the campus community yet, so I really, really liked that. And I attended a chapel service, and I really liked how it was very communal and everybody knew everyone. Everyone was saying hi to everyone. Students were talking to professors. Professors were reaching out, asking how everyone was doing, and like that's something you don't really see at bigger institutions. I also went to a really small high school, and so I really liked the close-knit type of atmosphere to begin with, so I knew I didn't want to go to a school that had 16,000 students, for example, and so I was just really drawn to RU because of how close-knit everyone was and how you weren't just a number here. Like, they genuinely care about you and your well-being, and they're going to do everything that they can to help you succeed.
Well, that's great. So you felt kind of welcomed into the community early on, and you early on became a really important part of the community too, obviously, with everything that you've done. As you know, this event, this President's Circle of Honor event, is designed to help express appreciation to all the folks out there who are providers of our scholarships for students. And you've been the recipient of a couple scholarships. Tell us a little bit about what it's meant for you to receive those scholarships and how that's kind of shaped your experience here at RU.
I think it's definitely an honor to be chosen. So when I applied for a couple of the scholarships I received, I had to obviously fill out a questionnaire and kind of tell the donors about myself. And so to be chosen as someone that they think deserves a scholarship, it like meant a lot to me, and I valued that, and I really appreciate the aid that I did receive because with COVID and everything, like my family, I'm from Canada, so with the exchange rate, with everything that's going on, like it was getting really stressful for me and my parents to try to make ends meet. And so being selected and like being chosen as someone who was worthy of donors' money was just really a great feeling, and it definitely helped me like continue on my academic path, because without that I don't know if I would have kept coming here per se. Like after my freshman year, I remember crying to Kirsten in financial aid about how I really loved it here and I wanted to stay, but because of just like financial reasons and like my parents' income and everything, like I wasn't sure if it was going to be possible to stay. And so being chosen was just a great honor to me, and it definitely helped me. Now I'm a senior, and so, like I said, this was my freshman year, and so I was just very appreciative.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you were able to work that out, and I know our financial aid people work really hard to help connect with the scholarship funders as well. And I have to tell you, Victoria, I'm also confident that the people who have funded the scholarships that you've been eligible for would be proud of what you've been up to, what you've been doing. So microbiology, chemistry, psychology, no knockoff classes for you, obviously. Tell us what you're going to do after you graduate here with all that great academic preparation.
So I originally started in the pre-med track, and then I chose to change just because I thought with like the microbiology and chemistry and psychology, it's covering all my bases for med school, but then I can also do like research work and stuff along with going to med school. So after this year, I'm going to be taking a year off to do microbiology research. So I'm trying right now to look for lab jobs and lab opportunities in either, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to stay in Michigan or if I'm going to go out of state. I do want to stay in the US because I think there's a lot of room to grow over here, and I've just really liked my time over here. But I've decided I'm going to take a year to kind of work and do research, and then I'm going to apply for medical school. That was always like the end goal. And so my professors have really pushed me and have encouraged me to go through with it, because I did like my first couple of years here, I wasn't sure if I was kind of like academically prepared or financially prepared, that like if I could do it. And they were like, no, you are someone who's driven, motivated, and like we think you should do it, and if you don't, like you might regret it later on. So I've just decided that I'm going to take a year to do research work, and then I'm going to apply to medical school.
What an exciting future path you've got out there. Yeah, you know, sometimes I tell, you just described like imposter syndrome, it's a very capable person who's afraid they're not capable. The only people who have that are really capable people, so you obviously have that going for you. So I'm glad you got that encouragement from faculty members.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons we're a welcoming community, consistent with the experience that you've had, is because we believe that Jesus welcomes everyone in. And interested to hear a little bit about how your faith walk has been impacted by your experience here at RU.
So I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic elementary, middle school, and high school. And along with that, like I feel like Catholicism is a religion that like you're forced into a lot of things, and sometimes like it can be a lot as like, especially a teenager going through all that and like remembering to do all the right things, because everyone sins and we know that. So I think like coming to RU, a big change for me was realizing that like I'm not perfect. I was very like in high school, very hard on myself, and I like was a perfectionist, and if I didn't do something right, I was on myself and I would get really upset. And so I think just coming to RU, I realized that it's okay to make mistakes. I think my connection to God has grown since I've been here because I've been surrounded by a bunch of people who also love God. And like, not that when I went to a Catholic school that wasn't a thing, but at my Catholic school, there was also a lot of students who weren't really close to God. And so I guess just being in a community where God is put first has really helped me realize in all aspects of my life how important my faith is. And if my faith isn't leading me or isn't my like main priority, I think like that's when I tend to struggle. So when I go through hard times, it's usually because I forget to put God first, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Great lesson for all of us, I think, that you've learned early on. So you've done remarkable things here already. It's going to be remarkable to see what you do next. Those things sort of fit in with a slogan that you've seen around campus and heard people say, and we use the phrase "rise together, stand apart" here at RU. What's that phrase mean to you, and what has it meant to you?
I actually really like that phrase, and I think it's really important for all students to understand. I think the rise together part really means like we work together, and like I've mentioned, like RU is such a tight-knit community that we need to use like all of our resources here. So just like whether it's like leaning on your friends or leaning on your professors, like realizing that we're all one here and that we can, just like how we're all really like Christ's body, you know, like we're all one and we're all trying to achieve a goal. But once we get out into the real world, it's like you should be a pioneer in your field. So maybe I'm not someone who does art or business, but the other members of our community here who do go out into that field, like I believe that the stand apart part of that slogan, I guess, means just standing apart and being different and setting an example or being like a leader in the actual community. So I think here at RU, we're very prepared for that. They teach us how to stand, like be independent while still being in community, if that makes sense, but being like a positive leader and not letting others' bad actions or bad habits kind of lead you in the wrong direction.
Wow, it's really well said. So, well, Victoria, you've been a great leader here. I know you're going to stand apart in what you do after you leave here, and it's going to be exciting to watch where you take off from here. So,
thank you.
Thanks so much for being here today and for giving us a chance to talk a little bit. So, and now give a listen to the Rochester University Worship Band.
You, Lord, oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. with every breath that I am able. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. And your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. And your goodness is running after, it's running after me. And your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. So all my life, and all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
One of the most exciting and important elements of the President's Circle of Honor event is the presentation of the J. Robert and Mary Utley Philanthropist of the Year Award. And I feel immensely privileged to be able to be here today to present this year's award to John and Joyce Todd. You know, sometimes we talk about pillars of the community and pillars of an institution, and I can think of no two people who more clearly and unequivocally represent what it means to be a pillar of Rochester University than John and Joyce Todd. Going back to 1979, after they had both graduated from Georgetown Law School, they moved back to their home state of Michigan. They had deep roots here. Joyce had been a student here at what was then Michigan Christian College. John had been a student at University of Michigan, and their deep connection to this community and to their faith in Jesus Christ led them to, all those years ago, begin an amazing history of support of Rochester University. When we talk to people about supporting us, we talk about all the ways that support can come. We talk about time and talent and resources. And John and Joyce Todd have exemplified what it means to be a giver of time, what it means to be a giver of talent, what it means to be a giver of resources to this institution. They've given all of that. Whether it's providing important advice about difficult matters on the campus, educating our students, contributing financially to scholarships for students, to the Garth Pleasant Arena, to other campus beautification and development projects, or other special projects and equipment and special needs that might not be met in some other way, John and Joyce have stepped up for decades and decades. So it is truly an honor for me to recognize this year as our Philanthropists of the Year, John and Joyce Todd. John?
Thank you, President Stogner, and it is great to be here with all of you. In Romans chapter 12:6, the Apostle Paul talks about, through grace we receive gifts, among them prophecy, teaching, leading, and giving. Joyce and I, with our connection to the school, we feel that we love to give to Rochester University, We enjoyed giving to Rochester College. We love giving to Michigan Christian College because we know that here, Jesus is here with our students and with our faculty staff. It is indeed an honor. We're humble and privileged. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And may God continue to bless you. So now it is my great pleasure and esteemed privilege to present to John and Joyce Todd the J. Robert and Mary Utley Philanthropy Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Stogner. We'll fill it with flowers.
Now, in keeping with the spirit of the work that the Todds have done, we're going to hear from some Rochester University students. Listen now to our worship band again.
Take me back to the garden. Lead me back to the moment I heard your voice. Take me back to communion. Lead me back to the moment I saw your face. And it was all so simple. It was easy to love. No space between us, it was easy to trust. You are closer, closer than my skin. And you are in the air I'm breathing. Here's where the dead things come back to living. I feel my heart beating again. It feels so good to know you are my friend. And this is the garden. Here in the place I find you close. This is communion. Here in the place I'm fully known. And it was all so simple. You're so easy to love. No space between us. You're so easy to trust. And you are closer, closer than my skin. You are in the air I'm breathing in. Here's where the dead things come back to living. I feel my heart beating again. It feels so good to know you are my friend. This is where I'm meant to be. Me and you and me. And I don't have to prove a thing. You've already approved of me. This is where I'm meant to be. Me and you and me. And I don't have to prove a thing. You've already approved of me. This is where I'm meant to be. Me and to think, oh, you've already approved of me, 'cause you are closer, closer than my skin. And you are in the air I'm breathing in. Here's where the dead things come back to living. I feel my heart beating again. It feels so good to know you are my friend.
Welcome back. I'm delighted to have with me today Virgil Walker Jr. Virgil is a senior business major at Rochester University, also plays on our men's varsity basketball team, and we're delighted to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So it's great to have you here at Rochester University. Tell us a little bit about what led you to us and how you got here.
So a couple years ago to now, I was at a different university playing basketball, and then COVID struck, and I was at home a lot with my family, and my other school was, 9 hours away, and I realized how much family meant to me and how much I wanted to be around my family. So I knew a student on the basketball team already, and he got me in touch with Coach Rice and Coach Pleasant, and within 3 days I was enrolled in Rochester University and staying home and being close to family again, so that was nice.
So it gave you the opportunity to play ball and to be close to home,
Yes.
kind of meet both of those needs. So.
Yes, sir.
So what, other than being close to home, what was it that you found when you talked to Coach Rice and Coach Pleasant that made you feel like this was the right place for you?
Just how interested they were in me, and I told them about the situation and being close to family, and they were very open to the idea of me, being around my family and giving me the opportunity to be close. And they were, every, week or so until I came to campus, they would ask me about how my family was doing. And that was always nice to me to have someone who actually cared and was interested in me and my family. So that was a big part of it too.
So they're interested, and we are interested in the whole person, not just the basketball player,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah. So this event, the President's Circle of Honor, as you know, exists to recognize the folks who provide funding for scholarships. And you're a recipient of some scholarship assistance to be here at Rochester University. Could you share some of what that means for you and how being a scholarship recipient has impacted you?
It's been a huge impact on me and my family. I have 3 younger brothers and my mom, so coming here, this has been a great opportunity. My mom hasn't always had the funding to help me get to college, so having the opportunity to actually come and having the funding and not have to worry about anything and not having her to worry about anything has been a huge blessing and tremendous for me and my family. So
it sounds like it maybe wouldn't have been possible without that.
Absolutely not, no, probably not.
Yeah. So you've had experience at some other places, obviously experiences in the classroom and on the court and outside in other ways. What are you thinking about after you leave here? What are the next steps for you?
Try to find a job in my field. Nothing too specific as of right now, but we're veering towards the end right now, so I guess I got to kind of make my mind up here soon.
So you're a business major. Has there been a particular area of focus that you've studied or that you've honed in on?
Not necessarily honed in on, but I've had a great interest in the marketing and sports marketing aspect of business, and something I am interested in. If I could find something in that would be great.
Okay. A lot of alums from our program have found those kinds of things, so I'm hopeful that you'll be able to find that kind of pathway as well. So Virgil, kind of taking a look back for a second, you were talking about your experience of interacting with coaches and people on the basketball program and their interest in you. One of the things that really drives our interest in people, as you well know, is that we're a Christian institution. Tell us a little bit about how your walk with Jesus and how your faith has been impacted by your experience here.
So the other universities I have been to, I've been to now, or this is my third now, haven't been, Christian-based universities. So, I mean, you haven't got the opportunity to, veer into that with like finding Jesus and stuff like that. So coming here and like having classes that are Christian-based, and I think it's helped me grow my faith and like get a little stronger and closer to Jesus now that I've been here and got the opportunity. I mean, just to, sometimes you it's not always on the front lobe, and then when you come here and it's something that's kind of like, driven and you understand it, and now that people are, you come here and you get help with, finding your faith. I think that's a big thing and something that's actually helped me now that I've been here.
Oh, good. Well, I know the people that help provide scholarships are very interested in that. That's a big, important value to them. So I know they'll be pleased, to hear your reflections on that in that way. So you have stood out in your performance on the court and in the classroom, and made a big impact on your teammates as a leader in some ways that I've observed and that your coaches have shared with me as well. One of the things that you've seen around campus and you heard us talk about is the phrase, the slogan, "Rise together, stand apart." When you think about that as it relates to you and your experience here, what comes to mind about that phrase?
I mean, for me, when I hear, rise together, stand apart, it's a slogan where you want everyone to win. Like, now that I'm here, I want everyone to win. I want everybody to be successful, but it's also about doing your part and standing out and making sure that, you also look good. So I try to, help people as much as I can while still, helping myself and making sure that I'm okay, and so that everybody can succeed.
So it's individual and community kind of together for you. Yeah. Well, you've made a big impact here. I'm excited to see, and we're all excited to see about the continuing impact that you make after you leave here. We're looking forward to that. And it's been great to have you here and to talk with you today. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. And now, one more time, let's listen to the Rochester University Worship Band.
May be formed, but it won't prosper. When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. My God will never fail. Oh, my God will never fail. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. Every war he wages, he will win. And I'm not backing down from any giants, oh no, 'cause I know how this story ends. Yes, I do. I know how this story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. Yeah, I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord.
Sing that one more time.
I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord.
It's a real pleasure for me to introduce to you one of our special students here at Rochester University, Lauren Hope. I want to tell you a little bit about Lauren before we talk together a little bit. Lauren is a fifth-year senior at RU, majoring in secondary education, focusing on integrated science. She's from Rochester, Michigan originally, so she's a hometown girl. And since Lauren has been to Rochester University, she has made a remarkable impact and has been involved at so many levels in so many ways. Student government, student programming board, residence life, you've been a community leader, you run on the cross-country team, helped with the first-year experience. Man, Lauren, you've done it all since you've been here. So having made such an impact, it'll be, I think, really interesting to kind of reflect back a little bit now on some of the things about your experience here. Let's kind of start at the beginning. What made you pick RU from all the other options and all the opportunities you had?
So I originally started going into school thinking I was going to be a nursing major, and so a lot of the places that I looked at, I was thinking of looking at nursing schools and how it was to get into them, and which was just if I had to live on campus, off campus. And my mom is actually the one who brought me to RU. At the time it was Rochester College, so I wasn't really aware of the school even though I lived so close. And so when I took a tour there, it was like a new experience for me because I didn't even know that it was a school in this area.
Wow.
And the first person who talked to me was my recruiter, Katie Boosum. I'm not sure if she's still here, but she talked to me about the cross-country team and talked to me about the nursing program we had there. And so, and me being such a homebody, I was like, oh, the school's so close that it would be nice to be close to home, but also have a home away from home. And so, while I was still thinking of my different colleges, I just felt like God kept pulling me towards Rochester by giving me, I had like just a lot of people reaching out to me, and it just seemed like the place that I needed to be. And so I just decided on Rochester, and thankfully I've been able to live here all 5 years, and so it truly is just a home away from home.
Wow. Well, we're really glad you made that choice. 'Cause it's been great to have you here. So as you're kind of coming toward the end of your degree now, and thinking and reflecting back, as you know, this event that we're doing this interview for is very focused on expressing appreciation to our donors that have contributed to student scholarships. So can you tell us a little bit about what being a scholarship recipient has meant for you in the course of your educational experience in life?
Yeah, so what I actually tell a lot of people when they're thinking about Rochester and I pitch it to them, like seniors in high school or incoming transfers, is that Rochester, it seems like it could be very intimidating because it is a private institution, but they truly hand scholarships out like it's candy. Like they want you to be here.
they want you to be here, and they want to do as much as they possibly can for you to get here. And so personally for me, just money's always a scary situation, I think, for everyone. And so just the opportunity to come to such a small campus and such a cool opportunity to be the majors that we offer here in such an independent learning style that I don't think that I would receive it at any other school. And so without the scholarships that I've received, I know that I wouldn't have been able to stay here for as long. And I think it's so important to stay at one institution instead of moving around, whereas sometimes that's how it happens. And I'm glad that they end up here, but it just gives you that life, that long, all the opportunities you're able to build off of it, build your learning off of it. And so I definitely don't think I would have been able to stay without the scholarships I've received.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think that, I mean, to your point, one of the things that we work hard at is we're not sort of the typical private institution, particularly in terms of student access, and it's the scholarships that really make that possible. So
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So when you first came, you were thinking about nursing. Somewhere along the line, you sort of shifted gears to decide that you wanted to become a teacher. Tell us a little bit about your plans after graduation.
So I am currently starting my student teaching, and I am in Rochester Community Schools, and I really, really like it there. That's a place where I would like to stay. And so I personally, after my student teaching, would like to apply to one of the high schools or the middle schools in the area. I haven't decided which age group I personally prefer yet, but I'd be happy with either. And after that, continue on to my master's, because my dream is to be like a principal or an administrator of like a high school or a middle school, and so that would be something I would be interested in. So staying in the area, as I'm such a homebody, and then just continuing my education to be something bigger, make a bigger change.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know you're going to make a big impact in whatever you decide to do. So you mentioned as you were thinking about your decision to come and be a part of this community that you felt some sense of sort of God's leading and direction in that. Obviously, one of the things that's at the core of who we are is our faith-based mission. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of your faith walk and how your relationship with God and with Jesus has been impacted and has been shaped by your experience here?
Yeah, so I have grown up with a religious background. My family's Catholic. We go every Sunday, and that's just a big event each week for my family. It's where we can come together and meet. So something when I was applying to schools wasn't very important to me was that it had a Christian background and it had some type of religion. And so I knew that it would force me to grow instead of me staying in my little comfort area. And so being at Rochester, something that I've really, really grown through is the worship chapels that we have on Friday. Even though I have all my chapel points, I still go every single Friday because I have learned, being at Rochester, that I am closest to God through worship. And so I thought it was such an interesting opportunity that they offered it because it's reaching out to different people, different groups of people, and not specifically one religion base. And I think that's also something important that we stress at Rochester is that it's not you have to be Christian. It's we want you to be a follower of God. We want you to grow through your following of God and just grow in your religion as your own. I also really enjoy the gen eds that we have to take for our theology courses. I think that the beginning ones of Intro to Christian Faith and Bib Lit are very crucial. And even if you've already had that pass, it's knowing where you're at and where you can go from there. Which my third, it's your choice, of course. I chose, I can't think of it right now, but it talked about, Synoptic Gospels. So it talked about the differences and the similarities between the Gospels and how they were different. And that just brought me to a whole new just look at the Bible. And I'm just excited to see where I'm going to go from here.
That's great. Well, as you've learned and as we've talked about a lot, everybody is welcome at the table of Jesus. So we try to have a welcoming environment here. And it sounds like you've been able to experience that. So one of the things that you've seen on the walls and that you've heard us say and you've seen on written brochures is kind of our catchphrase, rise together, stand apart. So when you hear that, what's that mean to you and what's your experience of that been?
I think it's important when you look at that phrase that you know what the institution is describing as it, but also figuring out for yourself. So for me, it's been with your community all the time. You're with them, you're learning with them, you're growing with them, but it's also looking internally and seeing how the things outside that you're being affected by, how they're affecting you internally. Are they growing you to be a bigger person? Are they growing you to be a better person? To go into the community and be that person that Rochester is having you become. And I just think that it's with rising together, it is who you surround yourself with, why you chose this institution, what this institution is providing for you, but standing apart, how are you planning on taking that for the rest of your journey? So outside of Rochester, while you're in Rochester, how are you helping others grow? How is that helping you grow in return?
Well, thank you for your thoughtful reflections there.
Thank you.
And thanks for being here today to be a part of this, and thanks for being at Rochester University. I'm excited to see what you do next.
Thank you so much.
All right. So now I'd like to introduce Steve Moore, Vice President of Development and Alumni Relations.
Hello everyone, I'm Steve Moore, Vice President of Development and Alumni Relations here at Rochester University, and I'm grateful to be able to bring this great day to a close with a word of prayer. I want to say a special thank you to all of the students that have been with us today, and to the Todds that was such a wonderful recognition for all of their support. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful especially at this time of year for all of the reminders of the many blessings that you provide to us. And Lord, I just want to say especially for all of the folks that have supported these students that we've heard about their stories today. We pray that you will continue to bless them, uplift them, draw them close to you. May they continue to support our mission here at Rochester University. And we pray that you will continue to bless the university as we reach out to the community and help students to find their mission and their vocation in life. We'll give you the praise for everything, for it's in Jesus' name that we ask it. Amen.